and welcome to Connected Conversations for Creatives, a place where creatives like you can learn, grow, and connect. I'm your host, Jennifer Carr. Today we are exploring the interconnected paths of creative expression and personal faith, how adversity can be a crucible for transformation, and the power of storytelling in navigating these experiences. Our guest is Paul Joel, an author whose life and work challenge the boundaries between the seen and the unseen, the possible and the miraculous. Paul's journey into faith and writing began unexpectedly in a moment of profound personal revelation. At the age of 33, inside Tears Church, Paul found his skepticism replaced by overwhelming faith, a moment so powerful it not only redirected his personal beliefs, but set the stage for his creative pursuits. His novel, A Man Like You and Me, a supernatural adventure story, is not just a book. It's a testament to the miracles he has witnessed since 1982, miracles that continue to shape his life to this day. This story, rooted in personal truth, aims to bolster the reader's faith in the divine, weaving through the supernatural as effortlessly as it touches on the human condition. But Paul's path hasn't been without its trials. Diagnosed with Hashimoto's encephalitis in 2019, he faced devastating memory loss and severe physical challenges. Conventional treatments failed him, and yet in a turn as unexpected as his initial conversion, his memory returned miraculously, defying medical explanation. Today, we'll dive into how Paul's struggles and his unyielding faith have fueled his creative output, the process of writing his book, and what it means to live as a testament to faith and miracles in a skeptical world. So let's begin this conversation and perhaps find a piece of our own story in Paul's extraordinary journey.
So anyway, my whole life changed. My whole world changed. Suddenly, instead of being, miserable, I had her and the whole world. I was always concerned whether I'm crazy or the world's crazy or both. And that's the issue, okay? And of course, when I found God, it was in Munich, okay? So eventually I asked her to marry me. So we met in 1978. We didn't get married until 1982. But I asked her to marry me, and she said, well, I'll marry you, but only to get baptized. Mm-hmm. I said, I don't believe in God. How that's going to work, And she said, well, we baptize infants. Nobody's going to ask anything. So I said to myself, okay, somebody pour some water on my head. I don't believe in these nonsense. But I get to marry the one of my dreams. This is the deal of the century. So I got back November 4th, 1981. You got married January 24th, 1982.
Yeah.
There was no time for our honeymoon yet. And so we planned this 6-week tour of Western Europe on Eurail passes, okay, in October. And the book starts on October 15th. And in the book, she's not there. I'm not with her in the beginning of the book, but clearly she's there. I'm not going on vacation without my wife or something. All right. And so, of all places, we're in Germany. It's October 15th, 1982, and we're on a bus to see Neuschwanstein. This is this huge castle. If you look at my website, you'll see a picture of it. Okay, it's gorgeous. It's this beautiful castle that Ludwig II built in the 1800s. And it's the castle that Walt Disney uses as a model for all of these castles in his TV shows and movies. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. So we're on a bus to see this thing, and the bus stops in the middle of nowhere at a coffee shop that obviously paid the bus company to stop there. And everyone, including my wife, goes into the coffee shop to eat something, drink something, use the restroom, except for me. I didn't feel like I had to do any of those things. And across the street is this church. And, I didn't believe in God, but sometimes they're nice to look at, and I didn't feel like eating or drinking or going to the restroom. So I walk in there, and I didn't know the story is, okay? It's called Tears Church, or in German, Dienstkirche. And the story was there's this ugly stick figure of Jesus being scourged that they used to use in the Good Friday procession. But everyone agreed it was ugly, so they tossed it in the barn for a couple of decades until somebody realized there were actual tears coming from the eyes of Jesus from this thing. So they put that on the altar and built the church. And I didn't know the story. All I know is I walk in there, and the ceiling and the walls are gorgeous. It's a Catholic church. It has stations that cross in the walls, okay? But your eye is drawn to this ugly thing on the altar. So I'm sitting there. There's nobody else in the church. And I get this message. I love you. Your sins are forgiven. And suddenly, God, it's a little bit like St. Paul on the road to Damascus. Suddenly he's converted, okay? And it wasn't like I heard a voice. It was kind of like, you're listening to my voice, and you're interpreting my voice with your brain to understand what it means. This was like directly to my brain. So I'm all excited, I'm happy, I'm thrilled, and I'm telling my wife. And our plan was to check out of this very inexpensive hotel and sleep on the train to go to Vienna that evening, and thereby save the price of the hotel room. And so as we're checking out with our backpacks and sneakers and jeans, I say to, I asked the clerk, what's one of the nicest places to eat around here? And he said, oh, probably the restaurant at the Four Seasons Hotel. So I said to my wife, let's go there. We can take another train. We have a Euro pit. It's not like we have a ticket to a specific train. And the clerk says, you can't get in there. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, it's Friday night, apparently October 15th, 1982 is a Friday. And it's a small restaurant. You need reservations. And besides that, you have to have a suit on. She has to have a gown on. They'll never let you in like that. So I remember thinking, hey, the creator of the universe just communicated with me. And if I want to celebrate, he'll take care of us. So we're riding through this restaurant. And, there's a doorman with a top hat and dressed in nines. And I ask him where the restaurant is. He's up on the second floor. And then he says, look, let me take your backpacks from you. I'll give it to you on your way out. Yeah, we don't allow PG butts like you with backpacks in our lobby, let alone. Okay, and then we go upstairs, and the waitress has a tuxedo, the waiters have tuxedos, the piano player has a tuxedo, the woman gets up gowns and suits, and there we are. And the maitre d' asks me my name, so I tell him my name. And there's one empty table with a reserve sign on, and my wife said she saw our name on the reserve sign, but I didn't see that. And he takes it off, and we eat. Yeah, we have like the greatest meal ever. Okay, and the piano player is playing this song. Okay, so I asked the waiter if he knew the song. He said, yeah, it's a famous song called A Man Like You and Me by Michelle Jarry. And I'm going to read to you the lyrics of it. Okay? If a man is rich and powerful, if a man is a king, it does not matter. He's still a slave to his fate. We're all slaves, whether king or beggar. We're all equal in this world. And basically, the book is about the intersection between fate, have a good experience of blondes, and then free will. You have to ask her out yourself, okay?
Yeah.
God isn't, going to do everything for you, okay? And then other, parts of the plot are like that too. So there's a lot of different levels of the book. And one of the questions you're asked was it difficult to write the book, okay? And the thing is, with this memory, it's as if these events happened yesterday. Like every detail of what happened is in my brain. Forever. So now we're on the train. This is the next day. Okay, we're on the train and we arrive in Vienna. Okay, and we check into another inexpensive hotel. And I say to my wife, "Let's find a restaurant on the square where St. Stephen's is. This way, I don't have to ask anybody for directions. Okay, it's late now. We're starving. Okay, so it's supposed to be again another restaurant on the second floor. So it's now October 16th, 1982, and I open the glass door with a wooden frame, and there's a dim light coming from the second floor where this restaurant's supposed to be. And clearly it's closed, so I turn around to leave, and we're locked in the hallway. I can't get out. Okay? And from a poor fellow who grew up in Brooklyn and studied at Mass General, there's a law since 1921 in every Western country. What happened in 1921? There was a fire in the Coconut Grove nightclub in Manhattan, New York City. And for some reason, the people were locked in and burnt alive. There's a law in every Western country since 1921 that if the place is closed at night, and there's nobody there, you want to lock it up, it's fine. You don't want people to come in and steal things, okay? But once somebody can open the door, you can't lock them in, okay? It's a law everywhere, and I know this, and I'm locked in this hallway, okay? And I can't get out. I'm tapping on the window, and the next man with dark hair comes over. He tried to open the door that I easily open, and he can't. Now I'm starting to worry, like going in the Twilight Zone. Okay. When I turn around to see where the light was, and I see a Christmas tree for a few seconds that disappears, and I see an Easter candle for a few seconds that disappears, and then I see the face of Jesus, and I'm petrified. And I'm sweating to death. And a couple of minutes later, it seemed like an eternity, a nice lady with blonde hair comes over and opens the door for us easily. And we run out like scared mice, okay? And, now I'm kind of believing in God, okay? So the next day, I buy this book of saints, which I still have. And when I looked at the feast day for July 23rd, which was the feast day for St. Bridget of Sweden, there's the face of the lady who opened the door for us, okay? So she may have been born in 1400 and died in 1473, but I swear I saw her in Vienna on October 16th, 1982. Okay? So I just gave you the first two chapters of the book. These are actual things that happened, okay? we have this big complication. So I'm driving to work to see patients in the office on March 25th, 2019, feast day of the Annunciation, the first joyous mystery of the Rosary, which I say every day. And suddenly I'm confused. I don't know how to drive the car. I don't know how to cell phone. So I stop the car. Unfortunately, a nice, fully smooth, dark hair comes over and calls my wife. And I knew who she was. I could recognize my wife, okay? And I was admitted to the hospital, and I was diagnosed with this very weird disease called Hashimoto's encephalitis. So immediately that day, 95% of my memory was wiped away. I had this severe peripheral neuropathy where my feet don't know, my balance is up, my fingers don't work, and I had to use a cane to walk. I'm in a hospital from March 25th, 2019 until I get home on May 2nd, 2019.
Wow.
Chemotherapy and steroids and anti-seizure medicines. And it was like an amazing thing that they made the diagnosis, okay? First they did the MRI of my brain scan, flew up like a Christmas tree, all over, and there was, as it developed, areas of my brain responsible for memory were destroyed. And so I'm a moron now. Yeah, I'm like back in school as the dullest kid in class, right? And I recognize who my wife is. And I did recognize who my two adult sons when we came to visit. But what I didn't realize is I didn't remember that they came the day before. So they would come each day for a week. And each time I saw them, it was like the first time I ever saw them.
Oh, wow.
And so I was basically like a mom, okay? And then I came home and you know, I was miserable. I had no memory. I had this peripheral neuropathy. You know, I had to focus to do any menial thing. You know, sweeping the floor, I had to focus like my life depended on it. When you shower, you have to hold on so you don't kill yourself. I fell down a flight of stairs, you know, broke my wrist.
Yeah.
You know, it was awful. So, and again, part of the story of this thing is that you don't know what's going to happen, okay? So at one point, I was so miserable, and I called the priest that I knew. And I've been homebound since. I haven't given the car since that day. And I called this priest up, and I said, look, is it okay if I stop eating and drinking, let nature take its course? I don't want to go to hell for committing suicide, but I'm worried. This is miserable for me, and this way my wife wouldn't have this noose around her neck and marry somebody else. The Catholic, she can't marry anybody as long as I'm alive, okay? So it was a win-win for her and for me. And he said, you know, go for it. God will understand, okay? Fortunately or unfortunately, Dr. Cheryl Fry, who's one of the doctors who's taking care of me and has helped me the most, called me and said, did you tell him about the book? Did you tell him you're supposed to get with Pope on the bishops to consecrate work? And I said, no, I didn't tell him about the book. He said, well, if you kill yourself, you're certainly going to go to hell, okay? It's like God telling Noah to build the ark. And if God tells, Noah tells God, look, I'm busy, find somebody else to build the ark. You know, I'm not doing it. It's not going to go well for Noah when he dies. And that's the only reason I'm still alive. Okay? Wow. Because of this person's intervention who read the book and believed what I think. And, you know, I keep telling her, you know, she's not a hero yet because my life is still miserable. Okay? And I'm waiting for to win the lottery. I'm waiting to get healed. I'm waiting to be an instrument of healing, like in the book. Okay. I feel like I've had hand-to-hand combat with the evil one for decades, losing every day. Okay? And so, you know, but that's part of all this, okay? And I don't know if I answered all of your questions. Next question, go ahead.
Okay, so let's back up just a minute and kind of talk about, you know, you've got obviously education and that kind of thing, but have you always been a writer? Let's talk about the craft of writing real quick. Or is that something that...
You're talking to the wrong person about the craft of writing. Okay?
Well, that's what I'm asking.
The only thing I ever wrote, okay, was journal articles. Okay, and I did write a book, key references in pulmonary medicine, okay, like a medical book, okay?
Yeah.
But in school, my worst subjects were English and Spanish. Anything with language, you know. I graduated from Tilden High School in 1966, and so, I graduated. It was a massive high school. It was 1,600 people in the graduating class. I graduated 16th, and there was a special program of math and science at that time. that I was in. Okay, it was basically the smartest 30 kids in class, and so because it was the Cold War and the Russians were going to kill us any minute, we took 2 years of math in 1 year, and instead of taking biology 1 year and chemistry the next year, and physics the next year, you took biology and chemistry in the same year. In New York City, you had to take a Regents exam. So I remember I took the Regents in geometry and in algebra. So 2 different Regents, 2 years of math in 1 year. And I thought I accomplished something really, really great, because I got 100 on the geometry Regents and a 98 on the algebra Regents. Okay, I'm a math science person. Okay. Now I find out when we're going over the test that everyone did that. Okay, everyone did on each one of them in that class. It was the smartest class I was ever in. Okay, and again, you also had, and again, I had things like that in my memory. I'm still continuing to learn them, to relearn them. Okay, like right now from April 29th, 2022, something happens, I'll remember it forever. Okay, I'll remember whatever I said, whatever, okay, or, it's important to me. Okay, but things before that, I still have to relearn. And I forgot that I play chess. I was on the high school chess team. Okay, and so when when it came back, not only do I remember that I played on the chess team, but I remember how to play chess.
Oh, wow.
God can do anything. We can't do much, but God can do everything.
That's right.
And it also reminds me of when the lad had the 2 fish and the 5 rolls, and well, what are you going to do with that to feed 5,000? Well, the little attempts that we have, the little bit that we try, Jesus does everything within it. He turns everything, and he's the bus on when you need it.
That's right. And if you're not here to share your story, then the people that need to hear it can't hear it, whether it is through a podcast or your book or whatever the case may be. Like, you have to be here to share the story so that someone else can hear that story bit for them.
And again, the website, which I do, basically, I don't know anything about website, but I find this literature. But if you go to the website, you can see, number one, pictures, some of the scenes in the book and some of the excerpts of the book. But also there's a Amazon book review by Stacy Chalimi, which tells you basically everything about the book. Okay, and it's an amazingly written review. And after I saw it, I said, really, this person's a better writer than I'll ever be. Okay, and it's not surprising because she's the author of like 20 books, 20 novels. Okay, and she happens to just did this book review, and it's wonderful, and it gives you the whole idea of what the book is about, fate and free will, and again, it's a very good review. Okay, all I'm just I could not write it. Okay, so, again, if you're looking for inspiration of how to write a book, I just ask God to help me. I like the way this works, and again, the events are as if they happened yesterday in my memory. All the detail is in there. Okay, it's an amazing memory that I never appreciate. I got sick, the Hashimoto's encephalitis, lost it, and now it's back.
Paul, I have one last question for you, and this is what I call the big question. So this is like your exit ticket. The only way we can end things is when you answer this question. Are you ready for our big question?
I hope so.
No, I think you are. No, it's very simple. It's from the heart. So what is one piece of advice or encouragement that you want listeners to walk away with if they hear nothing else?
Well, I want them to know that God exists, that God loves us, even if we don't appreciate that He's around. When we suffer through life's problems, as we do, don't give up.
Yeah.
Because God can do everything. Yeah, I mean, it may seem impossible for us, but God takes the rolls and the 2 fishes and multiplies them. Get you out of all the problems. Okay, you just have to tough it out and wait. Maybe waiting for decades. I've been doing. It's all time waiting. I'll tell you that. Don't give up. Okay, and pray every day. And He says point blank, ask in my name. That's whatever you want in my name, I'll do it for you. So it's an open invitation.
I agree. I think that's fantastic advice. And maybe to tack on there in that waiting, what are you going to do in that season of waiting? Like, how are you going to live your life in such a way that it's not about the bad, right? It's not about focusing on the negative. It's about focusing on those blessings, those opportunities, those, the things that you might overlook in the good times because, well, they don't feel significant. But in those bad times, let the good that you do come across, that you do find, like, let those be magnified so that you can see that, hey, you're really not in this bad time alone. It's a time for growth, reflection, just opportunities to turn things around internally and maybe not externally sometimes.
Right. But at the same time, people are suffering tremendously, whether it's health problems,
Sure.
financial problems. I believe in God. Just pray for help. Okay?
Yeah,
It's an open invitation for everyone.
absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you so much for being here. I will definitely be praying for you as you experience the ups and the downs. And I hope that you will find the opportunities to praise God. What is it? I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will always be in my mouth. So may that be your song from here on out, that you will bless the Lord at all times.
Thank you very much.